What's up guys, your boy Rashad back again with another video. Today we're reviewing The Punisher Season 1. Major spoilers going through it, so if you haven't seen it, what are you doing here? Watch it, come back and let's get into it. So firstly, this went in a completely different direction than I thought it would. Frank is in a different place. I did think this was going to be more of The Punisher. There wasn't a lot of punishing moments in this. It was more about Frank Castle and his the aftermath basically from Daredevil season 2. At the beginning of this season, you see him clearing up the rest of the people that had anything to do with his family, and then for the first episode, he was mainly just doing his everyday life. I didn't realize how much trauma he's actually gone through. Losing your family is probably the most horrible thing you can go through, but I didn't realize obviously he wakes up in the morning, sees his wife and his kids every single day. So that's punishing. That's literally just, now you know why he does what he does. Like, that is traumatizing. He does have PTSD, and it was just, he was in a different place than I thought he would be. Working that little construction job, just going there every day, hammering that wall down with so much rage, so much power in him. It was sad to see. He's literally a broken man. He can't really socialize with other people. John Bernthal, amazing actor. I think he's doing Frank Castle extremely well. I was a fan of The Punisher, but not a huge fan of The Punisher from the comics. So I would say that this is being done extremely well. Couldn't really ask for another actor to do it. But yeah, it starts off after he's finished killing everyone he needs to kill. He's just trying to settle back into normal life, and you can see that he can't do it. He's failing at the moment. Like, he's trying so hard to not want to kill people. People at work are being dicks, and he's just there. I don't know how he handles it, to be honest. But anyway, there's a chain of events that happen, and you're introduced to Micro, who sent him the disc from Punisher Season 2, who is another person that has been wronged by the government. He's presumed dead, and his family think he's dead. He gets into contact with Frank just to finish all of that. Frank thought he had killed everyone that was involved in his family's death, and I think there's about 2 or 3 people that are still actually involved. Agent Orange being the main guy. So this whole story is about getting to Agent Orange, killing him, and just finishing their unfinished business. I think the acting overall was amazing. Agent Madani and her partner, Billy Russo Curtis, they did play their part very well. Kept me hooked throughout the whole of the season, and I can't really say too much more about it. It was just top notch acting. The character development was crazy. You saw Madani start off as an agent who was looking out for revenge. She did, throughout the season, go through sort of a revenge path, trying to find out who killed her partner, but then it became about actually bringing the people who orchestrated that whole thing to justice, which was a good thing for her because she would have ended up getting herself killed. I did like the actor that played Micro. I think Micro's character brought a lot of depth to the whole season. A lot of the humour came from Micro, but he did have a lot of deep character moments, like sad character moments where you really felt for him, especially when he's just watching his family and the stuff that happens with his family through the monitors. It's just really heart-wrenching, and props to the guy, because I didn't think I liked Micro that much at the beginning. He was a bit of an arse, a bit of a dick, but at the end of it, yeah, one of my favourite characters. Now let's talk about Lewis. Lewis was one of my favourite characters, and I'll tell you why. I think he was acted perfectly. I'm not too caught up on the issues regarding the veterans in America, but from what I've seen and what the show showed me, it's a big issue, and I think they've done as good of a job as they could. I was hooked on his storyline from the beginning. I didn't think it was like a side story or anything like that. I think it brought a lot of depth to the whole season, and it joined the main storyline very, very well. His story did not pay off for me though. I will say that, that's one of the gripes I had. His story did not have a satisfying payoff. He ended up blowing himself up in a freezer of a restaurant of the hotel, which for me, it was just, you didn't see how his dad reacted. You didn't really see the fallout of what happened and why he did what he did. To me, Lewis was struggling out throughout the whole of it. He was struggling whether to do what he wanted to do, which was obviously bring the country to its knees and make them acknowledge what they were doing that he thought was wrong. and obviously he didn't want to kill people. Because when him and Curtis had that confrontation and Frank talked him out of it, he did actually end up giving Frank the wire that he needed to cut to save Curtis's life. So it wasn't like it was straight, I'm going to kill everyone, fuck America, that sort of thing. It wasn't like that at all, which you could really see the conflict in him. And I think he was just, as again, I can't even say how much I think that he was acted perfect. Him and Frank are my favourite characters in this show. But the whole aspect of, obviously, he's struggling. Like, the guy can't even sleep in his own bed anymore. He's come back from the war to a country that doesn't take care of him, doesn't actually acknowledge anything he's done. He doesn't have the skill sets to get a normal job, but he can't also go back out overseas because now he's got PTSD. He's compromised. He can't do anything at the moment. So even the scene where the policeman arrested him, that was just like, it was too much, man. So I think that politically, it showed a good message, as best as it could, to do with like gun crime, gun control, that sort of thing. It was just, it opened your eyes a lot to the struggles of the veterans, because some people are obviously homeless, living out on the street. They can't get jobs, they can't go back out overseas, they find it very difficult to socialise and stuff like that, and just get back into normal lives, which is what Frank was dealing with as well. So I feel like there were two sides of the same coin. Frank obviously chose to start murdering people to help himself out. I understand why Lewis thought that him and Frank were the same. Sam, he died, he got killed by Billy Russo. It was just a situation where I was just like, bro, you're in the wrong place. You need backup. There's no way this guy's going to let you go. You should have shot him in his leg. I know he's a cop, but I could see it going badly. I didn't realise he was going to die without telling Madani anything about his killer. But once he saw Billy's face, I knew it was rest in peace. And then we get to what we really wanted to see when we knew Marvel was putting out The Punisher as a TV series, is the violence. Like, I loved the action set pieces. They were amazing. Just the military precision, the whole aspect of it when he's taking out teams of people, the actual gritty violence of it when he's killing people was spot on. I can't stress that enough. As I said, he wasn't the Punisher throughout most of the show. It was just more like Frank Castle doing the things. You only saw him put on the vest with the skull on it maybe once or twice, but it didn't matter to me. It really didn't matter to me. I enjoyed the fact Frank does seem like someone who cannot die though. Like, I'm pretty sure he was shot a couple of times and he even like broke a rib which punctured his lung, and an hour later he was back out killing people. So he's like the Terminator. Like, I feel like that was slightly unrealistic, but from Daredevil we know that he's got a high pain threshold. Let me get into some things that I didn't like. I didn't feel that Billy's motives were explained pretty well. Not the motives of obviously making money and building his own empire and doing what he needed to do to not be poor and stuff again. Fair enough. The fact that he betrayed Frank is what I don't get, because if these guys were brothers, like in all flashbacks you see that these guys have a strong bond. Even when Frank came back, he wanted to keep him out of it just to spare his life and stuff. I feel like him and Billy were closer than him and Curtis, which baffles me as to why he ended up betraying him in the end, because I don't think he even gave a reason for it. Let me know if I'm wrong, but there was nothing that he said that made me think, do you know what, yeah, that's a good enough reason to betray your best friend, like your brother in arms. Like, that's a great reason to do that, to get his family killed. And even though he wasn't a part of that, he didn't stop it. He definitely knew about it. So yeah, that's something that I didn't like. It was, I wouldn't say slow. No, I wouldn't say slow, because I love the character development and stuff like that. The only thing I didn't like was Billy, and I'd say the payoff for Lewis. That's two things I didn't like. And my number one gripe, I almost fucking forgot. The theme music. You see Punisher Season 2. You see Daredevil Season 2. The music when the Punisher first enters that hospital, I might just listen to it right now just to get that feeling back. It's just menacing, it's intimidating, it just creates a whole, it sets the tone for who he is. And I don't think the intro music for the Punisher season was up to standard. I feel like at least once, maybe, when you put on the bulletproof vest with the Punisher logo on it, the symbol, that it should have showed that music. At least once in any episode, if it showed that theme music, if it played the theme music, I would have been happy as fuck. But those are my only gripes. Those are my only gripes, which is good. So apart from that, I would give it a 9 out of 10 straight. 9 out of 10. No. You know what? I'll give it 10 out of 10. I'll give it a 10 out of 10 because it was amazing. My gripes are silly gripes. They're just things that could have made it a little bit better. That could have made it something that just transcended everything I've ever seen from Netflix this year. But I'll still give it a 10 out of 10 because I think those are just personal things for me. I think people wouldn't really care about them. So, well done. Well done. 10 out of 10. And it was 13 episodes long. 13 episodes long. If you saw my Defenders video, you'll see that I was criticising it mainly because it seemed a bit short. I know some people think Netflix shows should be between about 8 and 10 episodes long, but I thought 13 capped this off nicely because I didn't want it to end. From start to finish, I didn't want it to end. I think I finished it in it took me about a day and a half to finish it on the Friday that it came out. I finished it by evening Saturday. So I did not complain at all about how long it was. I wanted to see more. The ending was so satisfying. The violence in when him and Billy actually clashed was crazy. Like the level of, when he was scraping his head across the glass, I was just like, oh. To the point where I didn't really want to see them, like what he was gonna do to him. I thought he was gonna do even more. But when he knocked him out, I was just like I'm not squeamish, but that was slightly difficult to watch. So those are my thoughts on The Punisher. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your best character moment? Who's your favourite character? And as usual, subscribe, like for more videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Taylor about the fucking flex.